recording? We're recording. Okay. As I was just, before we started recording, I was like, energy, get those energy levels up. Bob is now slouched in his chair.
Hello.
So lazy. And now you can hear the creaky chair.
Yeah.
As he gets back up, he's getting energy now. Okay. So, hello, my name is Tim. And this is
Bob.
And as always, we are Precarious Pixels. We've been away for a few weeks. That's my fault. I've been on vacation. I've been traveling the lower part of the U.S., going through Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona on a little road trip with my wife. It's been awesome. Maybe more about that later. And Bob, what have you been doing?
A whole lot of the usual.
A whole lot of the usual?
A whole lot of the usual.
Okay. But before we left, we had seen Pacific Rim 2.
I think we left the podcast on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
We said we're going to see Pacific Rim. It was like the prequel.
Yeah, like we had the pre-show before we saw the movie. I think we had recorded it the day before we saw the movie, I think, too, didn't we?
I think you're right, yeah.
Yeah. So we went and saw it. We both have different thoughts on it.
We did.
With different feelings. I left with a pretty good feeling. It had a lot of good energy to it. It was a fun movie, but I have to say, as a sequel to Pacific Rim, which was so good, like the first one was so good, I have to say it was a little bit underwhelming. It had some story parts that were lacking, but definitely action-wise, effects-wise, which is kind of like something you kind of expect from them, it was good. But story-wise, it definitely needed some help. What did you think about it?
I think the robots punched each other.
That's right.
But not enough. There wasn't a lot of robot fighting.
That's true. I think there was less robot fighting in this. Actually, and less robot on monster fighting in this. I kind of think, like, I'm trying to think in the first movie, they fought, like, right out the gate, like, it's like the brothers, Charlie Hunnam and his brother fighting.
Jax Teller.
Jax. And his brother fighting a monster in Alaska. And then it like stops for a little bit. You get some more story, blah blah blah. But then I think it starts right up with you fight like two new monsters. Like it definitely had like that kind of thing to it. But this one, it's kind of like the war is over, but we still have to build these things. But
you don't really, because you can just go party.
Yeah, on abandoned places that like the monsters died. Like that was kind of a weird thing too. It didn't make sense. Although the people building their own versions of Jaegers, I kind of dug that a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, spoilers if you haven't seen Pacific Rim 2.
Oh, yeah.
Huge spoilers for this.
The plot matters.
Yes. It really, like, they were just like, all right, how can we include as many characters from the old one as we could?
The one character was straight up from, like, they just ripped off a storyline from Transformers.
Which character?
The young girl who lives in the scrapyard.
Oh, yes.
That's straight out of Transformers. Transformers 4. Whichever the one with Marky Mark is, with a young girl.
I think there was two of them that Marky Mark was with a young girl for no reason.
But the one that's not his daughter.
Okay.
I guess the last one, was there a kid in the last night?
Yeah.
Right, yeah, because she disappears for like the half they're in England, and then she comes back later when they're on the robot island in the sky. Transformers is stupid.
Yes.
You know.
And crazy.
But that character, exactly what she does. She lives in a scrapyard.
Yes.
She puts together, again, a broken robot.
Yes.
And then later on, she's the hero of the day.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happens here.
Yeah.
She might as well have disappeared for half the movie. Also, how does she learn to Jedi mind meld immediately?
That was something I thought was a little bit like they glossed over pretty quickly. And what's weird is they kind of almost steal the Mako's story from the first one, where it's like, oh, she's a little girl and her parents are killed in front of her.
Hilarious.
Yes.
By the way.
Like, that, I was like, that's so, like, ham-fisted in here. You're just, like, shoehorning this in for some weird reason. I'm going to think of another metaphor in a minute.
No, shoehorn works.
Okay.
Like, you're stomping that metaphor
on
the ground.
Yes, definitely got stomped.
That scene, that moment,
yeah,
was straight out of Godzilla 98.
I'm trying to think what the...
Hank Azaria.
Yeah.
Standing in the middle of the street.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Kaiju foot land directly on him.
That's true.
Only it's Godzilla then.
But he had his toes apart, so it's okay.
This movie was so... Like, the Kaiju is submerged in water.
Yes.
It comes up from nowhere and nobody notices.
Yeah.
And then immediately steps up 100 feet in the air just to land on her parents.
Yeah, that's something I didn't really...
Would it have been hard to use the tail to kill them? Like to something that made sense?
Like it was like the monster turned away or something. Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
He's that ticked off at a pier?
Yeah.
Somebody selling bad wicker and he thought that was the store?
Or you could do even better and be like maybe one of the Jaegers shows up and like tries to kill the monster, but it rolls over onto her parents.
They're all yelling, come on, jump to us.
Jump to us.
And she's just like, no, stomp.
Yeah, and that's why she lives. She didn't jump when she should have. It was really, really weird. I was just like, why not come up with something else? Like, and honestly, it was a little, like, the first movie had it where it was very subtle. You didn't even see the fight. You didn't even see the monsters in the town. You see, like, the aftermath before and what it felt like to be in a monster attack. That was just, like, it was just literally like, hey, let's just do a quick flashback of, like, her parents getting stepped on. Like, for, like... And, like, it made no sense.
But somehow she becomes a robot expert.
Yeah.
There's no explanation for that. Apparently, in between, she went to school, and it wasn't that long because she's not old.
Yeah, she's probably, like, 16. And that was the other thing that kind of made me mad was these other pilots that they show, they don't develop them as much as I would kind of hope. There's, like, very little backstory for them.
You need to develop them to make toys, Tim.
Yeah. But you really do to have me care about them when, spoiler alert, they die or they get hurt. Like, I was like, I don't know enough about you to actually care about you as a character. I have no feelings for you getting fried or whatever, or whatever.
Are you saying you didn't care about Russian Brienne of Tarth?
No, I didn't care. And did she die? I don't think she died.
No, I don't. I don't think they killed any of the kids.
No, they killed one kid. Though they had the two guys that were piloting the one with the electro whip. Mm-hmm. I think the one kid dies. One of the pilots died, but I can't even tell you.
Did he
I can't even tell you
over the radio. It's okay, I'm fine. Like in the Hulk.
No. Look at the Hulk.
Like the Ang Lee Hulk.
Oh man.
Where the Hulk's destroying all the tanks and the helicopters, and every single one of them radios in to make sure they're okay after.
Yeah.
Ugh. Don't
on.
watch Ang Lee's The Hulk. Don't watch Ang Lee's anything.
Watch Ang Lee's The Hulk.
Oh my god.
Watch it.
For the Hulk dogs?
No, for Nick Nolte killing it. Just biting into electrical cord. That is Nick Nolte. And making fun of Eric Bana making baby noises at him. That movie is amazing. Should have made 100 of those. But just have Nick Nolte come back every time.
This is just continue to make Nick Nolte movies.
Yeah.
When he was like alcoholic Nick Nolte, like at his peak. When he was on all sorts of drugs.
Which apparently has been forever because he's had that voice forever.
No, like he's sober, I think.
No, he's sober now,
I heard an interview, yeah. But, like you need pinnacle of drug use Nick Nolte. Like John Belushi.
Mm.
At his funniest.
Oh,
just to have Nick Nolte do John Belushi stuff. Just fired. I'd watch
we're getting
Nick Nolte in Animal House. Now Nick Nolte.
Now Nick Nolte.
Like 85-year-old at a college.
Is he out of 85?
He's old.
He just kind of might have aged
He
that way.
might just look old. You're right.
He might have just aged that way. But we're getting way off topic here. So Pacific Rim 2, final thoughts on it. Not much of this like story. Action is great. Like that's the one thing they did pretty well. The fighting is great. It doesn't have as much weight behind it as the previous like Pacific Rim, where it's like they really had an effort to like move the Jaegers. This one is more, feels like if you like anime and you want a Gundam fight, which they actually even have a Gundam statue show up randomly. Like I know that's in Japan, but it was kind of weird that, oh yeah, Gundam's in this universe. Of course. But
Sure.
yeah, definitely a popcorn movie. Go see it once. I wouldn't say buy it or anything like that.
Go stream it once.
Yeah, in fact, go buy the toys and make your own stop motion version of this movie. It'll probably be a little bit better.
Yeah, you just need to write any plot.
Yeah. There was no surprise in who the villains were. There was like it didn't really add as much as I'd hoped that they would have added.
Tim already heard me rage out about the villain setup.
He's very, very sad. Like they pretty much give it to you right off the bat. There's no surprise of who it is.
And that villain could be back.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see if they do a third one.
I hope that villain does not disgrace themselves by doing a third one.
I'm betting he will, because then there's that money.
He's gotta have money.
He
does a lot of stuff.
Well, he does Always Sunny stuff.
Spoiler alert.
We already said that at the beginning, but switching from something that tries to be a video game to something that is a video game, Far Cry 5 you've been playing.
Far Cry 5 is awesome. However, the reviews were not so kind to it.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if it's just overkill. Maybe reviewers are unhappy with Ubisoft as of late, because I don't think they've been doing as much with the promotion with actual reviewers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was a thing a while ago where they got caught up in some shadiness with like ways they were calling attention to their games. Yeah, some slim shadiness.
Some shadiness.
I think for one of the Assassin's Creed, they had this press event that they invited all these people to, and they were like, here's some free tablets, guys, for each of you.
Wow.
And I'd like free stuff, so Assassin's Creed's got to be great, right? Because they give you free stuff.
Right.
Which, not to say that happened, because that would get us sued.
That's right.
But I don't think they're doing that anymore. Now they're using influencers. It's a new term. Be prepared. And they give out review copies, or they have events where people can go and record, like YouTubers and Twitch streamers.
Okay.
And they can put up videos of gameplay, and think that's the way they advertise ahead of time now. It's cheaper.
Right.
It's more effective because you're hitting a better user base. It's not costing you much because those guys are getting money from their subscribers and their advertisement.
Right.
So it's good all around.
Okay.
For them.
But
I don't know that it's necessarily good, but it's good for them. So, anyway, the reviews were mediocre.
Okay.
But the game is great. It's glitchy. There's some shenanigans that happen, but so is every open world game ever.
Yeah, it's very few open world games that don't have a few glitches here and there.
Oh, no, all of them do.
Yeah.
I can't count the amount of times that I've been in Grand Theft Auto 5, probably one of the best reviewed games of all time, and I've watched a character circle around a car instead of getting in so they can take off with me.
Oh yeah, I've had that happen many, many a times.
Far Cry does these fun things where, like, say, you'll have, like, characters that will just walk into a wall for a second.
Oh, okay.
And the AI is a little wonky, but other than that, it's really good. It's fun. The Guns for Hire and the Fangs for Hire are all interesting. The storylines are great. I have. This is going to be a slight spoiler, but it's a side mission early on. I have a space gun right now.
You have a space gun?
I have a space gun that when you shoot people with it, if you're close enough, it destroys them. Like, literally. Or if you're further back, it'll just like knock them backwards.
Oh,
and that's from like a side mission that you do for a scientist who believes there's aliens coming. Spoiler alert.
Okay.
Do aliens apparently? You don't see them, but they take him into their spaceship, and he gives you this gun.
Okay.
Presumably.
Okay.
But you don't see the spaceship. Anyway, the villains are interesting.
Because isn't it like kind of like almost it's a post-apocalyptic kind of game?
No.
I thought that it was kind of like it's saying it was kind of post-apocalyptic because there's kind of like these religious cults and stuff in it.
There's a religious cult who believes that the end of the world is coming.
Oh, okay.
Sound familiar?
Sure.
It's very similar to, what was that guy's name? Jones?
Oh, Jim Jones?
Jim Jones, right?
Yeah. Jonestown. Yeah.
What did they do? They took over this town, right?
Okay.
They're cults, and they protected themselves. Only the difference is here, they took over this town by force, or this county. And if you don't get on their side, they're probably going to kill you.
Oh, okay.
So there's 3 different lackey villains who are apparently part of the Seed family, and then there's the boss Seed family guy.
Okay. But so is this like it's happening like modern times?
Yeah. It's modern. It's Montana now. It's the first time FarCry has taken place in America.
Oh, okay. Because the first one I think was like an island somewhere.
There was Ireland. There was South America.
Right.
There was fictional country that was basically like Nepal.
Okay.
And then now it's Montana.
Okay.
I missed one. Whatever Far Cry 2 was Africa somewhere. With malaria, you had to keep giving yourself shots.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
I thought you... Okay.
In Far Cry 2.
Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But this one's in Montana.
It's in Montana, and it's definitely worth playing. The skills are whatever, but the open world and the co-op. It's the first time it's been full 2-player co-op. I was having fun playing with a few different people, doing stupid stuff, throwing a bunch of bodies in the truck, and then like racing around.
Oh wow!
Killed a bunch of people. Going hunting, fishing. It has fishing for the first time in Far Cry, and it works really well.
Okay.
Airdropping out of bases, messing around with enemies, doing silly things, bow and arrow.
Oh, okay.
Bow and arrow is always fun. Rocket launchers are also fun. It has just about anything you'd want from a first-person shooter in the open world is even better.
Okay. And like you said the storyline is really solid.
The storyline's solid. I heard the ending is silly, but the villains are great, so it doesn't really matter. It's almost like they wrote a script.
Okay. Which, honestly, you hope that they would do that, even for open world games. Probably the best ones have scripts behind them. I know, like even the Arkham games, the Batman games, Paul Dini wrote most of them, or most of the good ones anyways.
Well, this one's written by the guys who wrote BioShock Infinite.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. Which
Crazy Cult sounds like something from BioShock Infinite.
It does. Even the introduction to the game, there's a twist ending you can get. In the first one, or in the fourth one, I should say, the last game, they had a twist ending. If you just Pagan Min, the bad guy from that game,
right,
says, just sit here for 5 minutes, I'll be right back. And if you sit there for 5 minutes, the game will just end.
Oh, okay.
Because you listen to him instead of like going against what he says. This one's very similar. They want you to arrest Joseph Seed, the bad guy. John Seed.
Johnny Appleseed?
I think it's Joseph Seed. Every character is like 3 villains. I'm terrible with names, which is not good. The 3 villains, the males, are all J's.
Okay.
There's Jacob, Joseph, and John. And then there's Faith, the female villain, S.
Okay.
but I never remember their names. I know John, I think, is the guy I killed first.
Okay.
Spoiler alert, you killed the bad guy. But,
hopefully.
Yeah, well, no, trust me, he's dead. He had a bad day. But there's the other thing I wanted to say. This one has a twist ending at the very beginning. They want you to arrest him. You could just not.
Oh, really?
You'd be like, I'm not doing this. Because, like, you literally go into I don't know how else to explain it, but like a fortress.
Okay.
And in the middle of this fortress is the church where you go to arrest him, and his churchgoers are there with big guns.
Okay.
And they're like, you should probably not do that. And if you do that, which is the story,
right,
then the story continues and you end up having to take down everybody.
Okay.
If you don't do that, the game will just be like, alright.
Oh, really?
Thanks for not arresting him. End credits.
Oh, it literally ends.
It will end. Like, that's it. They did it with 4, they did it with this one.
Okay. So it becomes like you don't get to see what happens if you don't try to stop it.
It's like that's one way the story could have gone, I guess. Not that there's a lot of choice in the game other than that, so don't get fooled.
Okay.
But it's good.
Like side missions, anything good?
Oh, the space alien one. There's a character whose wife is pregnant, and you get in a wacky car chase.
Okay.
With a lot of explosions. There's also there's another side character who's basically Evel Knievel.
All right.
So in different areas, you don't see him. He's dead. He's been dead since the 70s.
All right.
But in different areas, you'll find like shrines, and you can relive some of his awesome moments.
Oh, okay.
Be it like flight, like you fly through things, shoot things,
Okay.
race around in jeeps, whatever.
Try to jump canyons or anything like that, or.
Yep, and there's also an awesome side mission from the chef in the town that John runs.
Okay.
I'm not going to explain it,
Okay.
but if you play the game, because I don't think you want me explaining it on the podcast.
Okay, it's one of those.
If you play the game, it's the best side mission I've done so far.
Oh, wow.
Because it's hilarious the whole way through.
Okay. Well, it's good that they've actually added some fun in there. Sometimes
it's always fun.
Sometimes with side missions, it's either like something that's unnecessary or something that's just like not as much fun. But
and the 50 cal sniper rifle works like the silver ballers from Hitman.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember what happened when you shot people with them.
Is that when their head explodes?
No, it's where they like flip.
Oh, really?
So if you hit somebody, like it hits with impact, so they're like knock them back, knock them down. You'll go through like 2 people if they're standing in front of each other. I have so many ridiculous,
like double
silly kills.
Okay.
Where I shot one guy in the hand and the other guy like right in the face because he's
Oh, it's like that close they can actually pick up the hand?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I do a lot of sniping. I actually, most of the game when I'm by myself, I play stealth.
Okay.
So I don't even get spotted. Boomer is the best dog ever.
Okay, yeah, that's a thing that's in this too. You can get other animals to come along with you.
A dog, a cougar, and a bear.
And an actual cat cougar, not
not Courtney Cox.
Yes, that's right. This isn't Cougar Town. Cougar Town.
No, it's Hope County, Montana.
Yeah. So you definitely would recommend this game?
Yes, I would recommend it. And it's Ubisoft, so it'll be $40 in a few weeks on sale.
Did they really drop down that quick?
Ubisoft always goes on sale in a couple of weeks.
Wow.
That's the only reason I supported this one day one is because I knew like FarCry I love.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I was going to love it.
Right.
And I was right. There was no reason to hate it. The only one I've ever truly not finished was Far Cry Primal because I didn't want to be a caveman and it didn't play well.
How long ago was that one?
That was 2 years ago.
Okay.
It was paid DLC and it was gross and it was... Stop it, Ubisoft. You know it was DLC. It's the same map. Like, they literally went over the same map from 4 and changed it to caveman style.
Alright.
And that was it. It was originally supposed to be, I think, part of their season pass and they just moved it.
They probably wouldn't. Again, people trying to get extra money out of you and not, just doing what they originally planned and just having that as DLC. Yeah, that is gross. All right, well, so that's definitely something you recommend. Something else you would recommend. So you've seen, well, I'm sorry, maybe it's something you wouldn't recommend. So you went and saw a movie that has a lot of game characters in it.
It does. No FarCry characters, though.
Yeah. Ready Player One.
Yep.
And I have not seen this, but I can pretty much tell you what the whole plot of the movie is from the trailers.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
Sounds right. It's a little bit Spielberg.
Yeah. Which I'm just like, Spielberg, what are you doing?
I mean, it's fine. It's a movie.
It's a lot of spectacle and not a lot of substance.
Yeah, it made me feel old because everybody in the movie that's a hero is 17.
Yeah.
It's like one of my big qualms with that, and Pacific Rim 2 is just like...
That is true. Like the new Pacific Rim movie, a lot of the pilots are like all young pilots.
And the main actors that are in it aren't... Like, even if, let's say those kids are the heroes, right?
Right.
Then why do we spend 40 minutes of the movie at least with the other characters?
Yeah. Yeah, it does kind of like, it makes it like a little bit silly that there's no older pilots that are still hanging around.
Yeah, like the one who saved everything last time and isn't even mentioned.
Yeah.
And yet the other guy's the hero?
Yeah, I don't know. And, like, they have Mako in there, but her part's very small.
I don't even remember.
Yeah, she's in there in a helicopter.
Oh, good catch.
Yeah, that was, yeah. I was just like, this doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I don't know. It's a lot of things that I was just like, why can't there be a mix of ages kind of stuff? Like, definitely should have older pilots in there. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about Ready Player One.
We are. We're talking about a movie that was interesting. Like, it's great to look at visually, and you can tell they spent a lot of money on it.
Mm-hmm.
Although apparently not as much as I would have thought. It was something like $50 million, I think I read.
I think they took longer to develop it, and I think that kind of like they were able to kind of spread their money out.
That's fine. But the references are... Most of the references are from the 80s or 2017, which kind of bugs me, whatever.
Right. And some 90s references, of course, too.
Barely.
Iron Giant.
Oh, my God. Iron Giant.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and there's another weird thing they do where one of the characters is voiced by... I'm blanking on his name. He used to be on Mad TV. Phil Lamar?
Phil Lamar?
Mm-hmm.
Samurai Jack?
I'm pretty sure it's voiced by Phil Lamar.
Makes sense.
And that character is in a study at one point.
Okay.
And there's a picture, I'm pretty sure, of Phil Lamar on the wall. And it's very strange.
Okay.
Because the character is not Phil Lamar.
Right.
You need to understand this.
Okay.
Why is it that? And that's not here nor there. The movie is mediocre.
Did they save everything with love?
No, they might as well. They save it with teamwork.
Okay.
But they don't have any reason to be a team. Then there's this big... Oh, man. I can't.
So...
I can't relive it. It's fine.
Are you really having some trouble here?
Well, I mean, you have to go through the whole movie. There's a really cool scene where they go into the movie The Shining, about halfway through the film.
Okay.
And it's worth the price of admission to see Simon Pegg with his American accent.
Right.
At first I'm like, is that Simon Pegg, or is that guy who kind of looks like him who's also British, Michael Sheen?
Really?
Yeah. Because
Okay.
it's like, I think he has red hair. But they look similar.
Okay.
Kind of, in real life, I guess. I don't know. But now it's Simon Pegg with an American accent. Another guy playing a nerd. The main nerd guy who invents Pandora. Oh, I'm sorry. The Oasis.
The Oasis.
The Oasis is, He's cool. Like, he does a good job. And, you know, the guy who played Cyclops in X-Men was fine, I guess.
Is that who that is?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
He's meaningless and
Okay.
middle of the road, and I guess he has a voice. Then there's the... Oh, God. Could you stop in Hollywood with, like, one mark on your face makes you a hideous hell beast? Could you stop it?
Oh, is there somebody who's, like, got a nasty
There's a
scar?
character... No, she has a birthmark.
Oh.
And she's so ashamed of her birthmark. Oh, also, let me explain something to you. The entire world plays this game.
Okay.
The entire world plays this game.
Right.
The heroes of this entire world
Right.
all live near Chicago or Cleveland or wherever.
I think it's Ohio. Ohio?
It's Cleveland then?
Yeah.
They all live within like miles of each other.
Really? That's ridiculous.
It is. The whole movie's stupid. But there's some cool stuff that you can see them do, and like I said, that when they go to The Shining, it's great. It's the only real positive that I have to say about the movie. Other than that, it's just like middle of the road, mediocre. It's Spielberg. There is, I'm pretty sure, the Iron Giant.
Right.
What was his one thing that he believed?
He was Superman.
But what did he not want to do?
Kill people.
So there's a segment at the end where the Iron Giant just kills a lot of people.
Right.
A lot of people.
Is it voiced by Vin Diesel?
No, I don't think it even talks.
No.
It's being controlled by somebody.
Which makes the reason why it is, like, probably killing people.
No. It's being controlled by a good guy.
Okay. Hey, apparently good guys kill. Have you not seen Batman vs. Superman?
Where's Martha?
How do you know that name?
I don't know. But, I mean, you could stream that one too, I guess. You can stream whatever you want. I think Pacific Rim of the two is probably better.
Okay.
And that's surprising. But if I think back on it, Pacific Rim is better than Ready Player One.
Yeah.
Don't feed the beast.
Yeah, there is a lot of people call this like nostalgia porn, and it really is kind of like, hey, remember all those things you like? Well, guess what? They're all in one movie. And I kind of like, unless you have a good story and a good reason that all those things are there, don't do it.
The real world of this movie, when they're in the real world, there's one segment that is just straight Minority Report. It's like,
oh, really?
It's like ripped from another Spielberg film.
Oh, wow.
The one action scene in the real world, don't even get me started on the action scene. Ugh.
Okay. Alright, so Ready Player One, you wouldn't recommend seeing it?
No.
Just spectacle then?
Yeah.
Okay, alright. Now, moving on to another movie that you saw.
Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Now, this is also, because isn't there a scene in Ready Player One where she shows up, Lara Croft?
I don't think so.
No?
Nope. There's a dance number.
Oh, well, that's worth it then.
It's not.
Well, you didn't tell me there was a dance number before. I'm definitely going to see it now.
There is. It's the one thing that's not 70s or I'm sorry, 80s or 2017. They have what is the one, we're going to take a step back for a second. We're going to go back to Ready Player One. There's one common thing among all gamers from the 80s. I guarantee it. If they were in the 80s and they were playing games, do you know what they hated?
No idea.
Disco music.
Oh, so there's a dance sequence in a disco?
The dance sequence they do is in a club, and they dance to Stayin' Alive by the Bee Gees.
Really?
They dance to Stayin' Alive. And I guess it's meant to be because there's a firefight that happens halfway through the dance.
Okay.
But guess what? Gamers hate disco. Like, they hated disco in the 80s.
I have a feeling this is something that's personal to Bob.
Ugh.
Bob hates disco.
I don't even dislike it. I will survive, Tim. 3.5 gainer there.
But speaking of staying alive and survival,
yeah, Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider, which is based off of the newer games, which is a lot of survival kind of action.
Oh, it's Lara Croft's died so many times in that game in horrible ways.
Right.
When I played as her. It's accidental.
Right.
But the point is, like, you need to understand that it's rough out there for her.
That's right.
And that they picked the right girl.
Yeah.
Alicia Vikander, I think is her name.
Okay.
She was rough. She looked like she could beat up a lot of people. It starts off with her, like, kind of kickboxing.
Okay.
She's angry because Dad's disappeared.
That's, it happens.
Yeah, but he's been gone for a while.
Okay.
And she's broke, but she works. They do this thing where they give her the plot of Dark Angel.
Okay.
She works as a bike messenger.
Really?
I kid you not.
Okay.
She works as a bike messenger.
And what's in New York?
No, it's London.
Okay.
Like, she's British.
Okay, that makes sense.
I think it's definitely England.
Yeah, because Croft, she was always British in the other games, so.
She's, Even Angelina Jolie I think she started thinking that she was British with Tomb Raider.
That's true. Thinking she's British.
Well, have you ever seen her in interviews where she randomly has an accent?
Yeah, I've seen it a couple times where she almost has like an English accent. It's kind of weird, but then it's just like, I don't know what movie this is left over from, but it's probably that one.
I know your dad's John Voight.
Yeah.
I've never heard him with that accent.
That's right.
Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Right.
But yeah, they do this scene where she has this chase, and they're all like trying to, like, whoever makes it to the end of the race first wins the money because she's broke. Then you find out that she's rich. She just doesn't want to sign the papers that her dad's dead or her stepmom wants her to, blah, blah, blah. So she goes to this island looking for her dad. And it doesn't really matter. She gets caught up in some nonsense, and Walton Goggins is there, and he makes a great villain in everything he's in.
Right.
Except he's not a hillbilly here.
Okay.
And his character, he doesn't make sense for his role.
Alright.
Because his character, well, at least if they're sticking with the game, because in the game, his character's super German.
Okay.
I believe.
Gotcha.
Voight? Something.
Okay.
It didn't matter. But anyway, he's not German here.
Okay.
He takes her hostage, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Right.
There's a lot of action, running away from stuff. She does a lot of jumping.
Alright, which is something you do a lot in the game. You do a lot of jumping.
Jumping and getting shot at, and always getting barely missed. The worst marksman ever. Like, nobody's a good marksman except for Walton Goggins, who I think he fires a gun once in the entire movie.
Right.
Straight up, everybody's shooting at this one guy. He pulls out a pistol and just bam, one shots him. Like from a long distance away.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. But overall, you see solid movie?
Yeah, I'd recommend it. Strongly recommend.
Okay.
Except for the end.
Okay. Yeah, you did say that there was some stuff that they changed from the game to the movie.
Yeah, I don't really want to spoil it because the game is definitely worth playing if they haven't played that. But there's a major difference between the game and the movie, and it's kind of rough, and it was a bad decision in my opinion. They also set up a sequel, which will never happen.
Well, you never know, because now since the overseas market is big, there could be
no robots or green people, Tim.
I don't know. People love Tomb Raider. I mean, they keep making the games for some reason. So
the games sell.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, I thought they'd never make another Tomb Raider movie after like Angelina Jolie stopped making them. So
because they weren't good.
What?
That's because they weren't good.
They weren't good.
This one's better than those.
Okay. So, I mean, you're recommending it. Hopefully they'll make more. You never know, because, it could go on Netflix, and Netflix could fund the sequel for all we know.
They could.
I mean, that's the whole reason they're doing, like, Archie shows and stuff like that. I mean, they're doing Sabrina the Teenage Witch, which is only going to be on Netflix, I believe. Just because Archie, everybody was watching Riverdale on Netflix so much that they were like, well, we got to do another show because this is obviously doing really well for them.
Yeah, Tina the Teenage Witch.
Yes. Chilling Adventures of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I hope that it's going to be as hardcore as the comic is now, because there's some twisted stuff in there. There's some EC Tales from the Crypt kind of horror stuff going on in that book, and it's great.
But
yeah, we'll see if it's good. He's shaking his head at me like he's like, oh, I'll watch it. Never. Thinking of characters coming back, we're going to talk about it briefly, but the return of the Fantastic Four to comics. Whether this means
to movies.
Yeah.
They're going to bring back Jessica Alba. They'll make it a weird combination of like...
think about it. We're now ending the MCU Phase 3. Fantastic Phase 4.
Oh.
You can't,
Oh, Tim, that's forced.
Yeah. Come on. Fantastic Phase 4. It's
fanforstic.
Fanforstic. Anything.
Do you think they try and like shoehorn in Michael B. Jordan again as Johnny Storm? Like he's just two characters in this universe.
It could happen. They did it with what's her name from I think Alfred Woodard.
Alfred Woodard.
I can't think of her name right now.
Where's she from?
She was in a very short scene in Captain America: Civil War where she plays a woman outside the elevator that gives Tony the "you killed my son" story, and she shows up again as the villain in Luke Cage.
Oh, that's Alfred Woodard.
Alfred Woodard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought it was.
I didn't know she was in Cap. I didn't remember it.
She's a very small part, but very good part in that. She was the one who gives Iron Man you killed my son. Who's gonna avenge my son? And that's when Tony does something stupid, which is what Tony always does, and he
gets drunk
and does something ridiculous, and always everybody else has to fix. he's a mad scientist who's very emotional, but I'm sure we'll talk more about that later because this is Avengers month and the Avengers are coming. Infinity War is coming. I've actually stopped reading any article online because I don't want anything spoiled for me at this point. I've stopped watching any trailers, anything, TV spots.
It doesn't matter. The real Fantastic Four premiere in theaters on Friday.
Oh, you mean The Incredibles 2?
No.
No? Who's the...
The Rock and 3 giant animals.
You're talking about Rampage?
I am.
Are you going to go see Rampage,
yes.
I take it?
It's going to be so bad. I'm excited.
Or so good.
It's not going to matter.
I've heard good reviews about it.
I hope he has a cast and he flexes out of it.
I hope so too. I hope he jumps out of a building holding another person and falls on a car.
Oh, I can't wait for the scene where he's hanging upside down by his foot, which is prosthetic.
Well, that movie's not coming for a while.
Oh, that's not the same movie?
No. We'll definitely talk about that one when that comes.
Skyscraper, yeah.
Yeah, Die Hard with a rock with a fake leg. But we have to be... we're not in our usual location, so we have to be ending here.
Yeah, because it's almost bird o'clock.
It is almost bird o'clock. But I'm, as always, at Tim Martinick on the Instagrams. And Bob is...
I'm at...
Bob
_ Martin, MARTON. And if it's Bob, it's BOB.
On the Twitters. And as always, this month I think I might do some, definitely some Avengers postings and stuff like that. So if you want to join in with some stuff, it's #PrecariousPixels. And,
bird o'clock.
It's bird o'clock. I think it's 9 o'clock is the woodpecker.
I think you're right.
If you can hear that in the background.
I hope you can.
But that means it's definitely time for us to go. So as always, we'll see you. Bye.
Bye, guys.
To do a little redesigning with us, you can find Bob at Martin, MARTON _BOB on Twitter. And you can find me on Instagram at Tim Martinick, all one word, TIM MARTINEC. And you can join in us, have some fun, do your redesigns for this week's redesign. It's a lot of fun for us to do this, but we like to see fresh ideas and fresh artists doing what they do as well. You can also hashtag it PrecariousPixels and we'll find it as well.